Dusa and why it's so strong here is that you also are excellent against the Treant because you're a natural Manta buyer. In games where it's necessary, you can also go for a BKB. You don't really have anything, the supports won't be able to do anything to them. And even Viper, let's say the lane is at least even, like, there really isn't an answer to the Dusa. So you've got to be able to take map control. You need to kill these tier 1 towers and then get lanes going quick. I will say I love Disruptor with heroes like Viper and Naga because you're going to be able to shove lanes aggressively, Naga illusions everywhere. You'll be able to find kills with those glimpses. As like the panel was talking about, these two supports provide a ton of vision. And if you're in a position to make plays, that is excellent. If you're not, well, it just feels bad for pretty much everyone involved.
Now, by picking up the by picking up the Viper, it does mean they're going to be running a 3-position Leshrac. Obviously, Resolution is very familiar with this hero and such, but do you think this is actually good to have this Lesh?
I think in this scenario, you're going to be just fine because you have a Disruptor up there. You're just both going to spam spells. It's not as if either. I mean, what is a core Bristle really going to do to pressure you too hard, right?
Sure.
And if there was a team that I'm happy seeing this more semi-core, I would prefer Rezo on 3s that shade towards 2 rather than the typical Zai as an example where he's more shaded towards a 4. It's a lot easier to play as an offlaner. Remember when Sumail swapped over and he was consistently just playing, even Quaps out in the offlane? Like,
sure.
He can play the same game he's used to, but from just starting in a different location. So,
like how they were drafting Lycan and Centaur initially for Ramses, right? Another good example of just kind of keeping a core player in their comfort zone. And, I really like watching Resolution play, but watching his off lane of the current iteration has not been great. Actually, his last run in off lane was... So it's definitely seems to be still a learning process for both him and the team. That's a bit of the problem, right? It's not just one person that you could say that is underperforming at times, the P as a whole. With their previous roster, and Epileptic Kid and Save were not looking great either.
I have faith. I think they've definitely looked a lot better at this event than they have in the previous ones. They made it to the major. They're on the up, and that's going to be important for these guys, just building confidence moving forwards. And this is what I mean by top lane, right? Puppey and Matumba Man are just going to get spammed out. Both of these heroes can just buy sticks, and then Matumba Man's just feeding more damage into his enemy's coffers. And as you can already see, no one playing very aggressive up on the hill. This is what you want to do is the Viper versus Dusa on that first level. And oh, wow, as I see that, Rezo is in so much trouble. Yeah,
Resolution got a little aggressive earlier and, put himself to be able to go get the range creep. And I think Matumba Man took full advantage of that, getting a bunch of quill stacks.
I don't think they expected the Tiny to come out of the trees either. Or with a really timely movement there. Did he start there or teleport up? I didn't have my eye on the minimap. And as you can
I think he started bottom.
Cool. Yeah, if you are wondering what the lanes were, yes, Tiny did start bottom because his icon was down there with Zai. Safe to assume.
So Yaps are just with a tricky little maneuver, just kind of showing bottom lane, TPing up top, getting them the initial first blood, because they know this lane is going to be hard. This is something that I feel like the Nigmas and Secrets of the world do differently than the other teams, is that they quickly identify how to be able to set up a laning phase configuration, figure out what the problems are, or, I think Nigma last series was a really good show of identifying win conditions and shutting them down.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, later he'll probably have to move back towards bottom. For now, Zai's going to be just fine because it's Naga Tree. Level 3, level 4, it could perhaps be a threat, but for now, no big deal. Misha, nice DD rune pickup. He'll just TP back to the mid tower. I don't think... you might be tempted to trade hits there, thinking, I've got a DD, I'll beat him, but I don't think he's going to win that one.
Yeah, with the Viper stacking up his Q, and then on top of that, no one could just play the high ground and have that advantage as well. Better for him to just TP in. Looks like our Naga Siren is having a free lane, though, against the Mars. Not too surprising, seeing as half the damage that comes out from a Mars is physical damage with the God's Rebuke, and a heavy, heavy high armor hero like Naga Siren isn't going to care too much about that. Oh, look at that group up. Looks like a toss over into an Avalanche is going to be able to secure the kill on a Resolution, and the Aptor with his boots first build is able to get in front of Zayat, kill the courier, block in Zayat enough that Puppey should be enough. No, actually the living armor plus the fairy fire and everything else will actually let Zayat live.
And with the courier, you can see a little smirk on the Aptor's face. He's like, yeah, I guess I'll take that. Really nice movement as always from the one of the more solid 4 players in the world, to be honest, especially when you consider how aggressive YapzOr plays, how effectively all of his heroes are playmakers. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time at all times, as Zai will be pressured, but as you can see, they're not really threatening kills. And yeah, his CS isn't great, but I mean, 9-2 is 10-2. Like, this isn't bad. He's keeping up with his Medusa.
Yeah, I think when good showing of YapzOr set a trap here for Science, managed to find him all by himself in the triangle area, and does have a full combination. He's just trying to get as much damage in before he goes for it. The living armor, though,
I like that
knows
choice.
is out of range.
Yeah, you're not killing him. There's no reason to waste the spells, because instead he just runs top, and perhaps you can threaten resolution. And that is going to be YapzOr's plan, it appears. Full wand already up on Rezo, as you can see, but this is why they're putting 3 heroes here, because in a 2-on-2, you're going to just trade mana, and inevitably VP will win the exchange. But with 3, you can actually threaten kills, which is what's necessary to take this lane. Nisha recognizing, I don't want to be up against this Viper, I'll just go farm my camps. Maybe YapzOr even stacked those on his way up. I didn't actually see who got those off, but I like this because Viper can't actually kill YapzOr in the mid lane, so we'll be able to soak up some nice free XP. Trying to get as much out of the map as possible. Dire side.
That's something special, right? Not only is it Nisha Medusa, which is his special, but on top of that, it's a dire side Medusa.
Yeah.
There's an inherent advantage for Medusa, especially on dire side, right?
Oh, for sure, because early game you can take both of these camps simultaneously, and then later on you can just go farm your ancient hard cap simultaneously. Raiden, there's a lot more travel time involved.
Yeah, nobody wants to be in the Radiant Ancient area part of the map. There's nothing else there.
Exactly.
It's a dead zone. Well, 5-minute bounty's about to spawn, and you can see just the feel of the laning phase. Secret have a bit better control of the top half of the map. That's why they're able to bolt the bounties there. Zai is able to snag one of these bottom lane. Gottribute pushing back solo, but no one is able to keep the poison sting on him. And 2 stacks. It's gonna take him out. That'll be his death.
That last tick got him. Just damage overkill. Top lane, Matumba Man with that early point in Q. Good to see it. A lot of bristles. I've seen skip their Q completely until like level 8, which is not the play. You want to be getting up those stacks of your ultimate, even when you're chasing for kills at just level 6. And it's very effective against these low armor int heroes too. Plus you get the chasing power.
Yeah, they've been several iterations of buff happened to the viscous nasal goo until it got to a point where it's actually even just value to pick it up level 1 sometimes for an early first blood.
Well, it used to be the same mana as your quills, whereas now it's just 12 at level 1. Super value. It's almost 1 minus armor a tick. Now, this Snapfire hero as well. I'm surprised we haven't seen this picked up more often, especially in the first 2. Seems like as far as 5 positions go, you've got 4 abilities that all do insane damage. You've got a ton of utility. Nisha, though, in some trouble.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be able to pick up a haste rune. Instead, Zayax denies it, and not actually going for, well, he's trying to get close enough for the glimpse now. Might be able to do so, thanks to Solo, who slowed down Nisha with the brambles. But the glimpse back is not quite good enough. A TP away from Nisha will allow him to survive.
Really nice play from YapzOr there. That little bit of time bought from the toss and the extra auto that Viper wasted, that's going to be the difference maker there.
Top 2 CS for both the Naga Siren as well as the Vipers. So even if that top lane has been really rough for resolution, it is a problem, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a Leshrac. That's not a hero that you look at as a 2 or a 1. You want to secure his farm a lot of times. You said resolution, you know, you like trending him more towards a 2, but they didn't secure his lane like they would a 2.
No, definitely not. But there really wasn't a way to do so. You can't leave your Naga bottom against Mars, because that's just a matchup that you're not going to have any fun with whatsoever.
And Treant's not a tri-lane hero as well, right?
Not in my opinion, but at the same time, it has worked in the past, but especially going this non-leech seed build, which I prefer, because then Solo's able to help out his offlane from bottom. And at the end of the day, if someone's going to win the game for you on VP, it will be this Naga. So guarantee this right here, top CS, top net worth.
And the biggest hero that's going to create all the space for your win condition is going to be this guy right here. No one in the mid lane trying to chase down YapzOr, thanks to a small rotation from Solo as well as Science. Man, Virtus.Pro. This is, I think it was Gambit doing this as well, rotating the 2 supports around constantly and just having 2 or 3 strong solo laners. It looks like with the Mars Arena going out there, they're going to try and get the kill onto no one. They will be able to do so. Pinning him against the wall, Zai picks up the last hit.
And this, to me, is the issue that VP are going to run into, which is trying to take team fights around objectives in this mid-game portion. you're playing against two heroes, Bristle, Deuce. They're just going to camp on top of towers. And if the arena goes down, there's no counterplay. There's no way you're going to be able to get in there and save whoever's caught inside. And then you look later into the game, 30, 40 minutes plus. Let's think about Naga versus Deuce in the late game. At a point, Deuce either eats or picks up an Ags from Roshan, and then the Snake straight up insta-kills Illusions. How are you going to kill the hero?
With that kind of issue, with that in mind, and seeing as what we saw, like hindsight being 20/20, but it really feels like they didn't need to go for that tiny kill. I think they could have just pressured that mid tower. It's already quite low. They probably would have finished it off. Now that objective still out there in the wind and still be defended by this Medusa, who
they want to be bringing Rezo to these engagements, but Lesh is of all heroes that are XP dependent. It is the Leshrac that I think of as like numero uno. And if you check out his net worth, right? His levels, he's just now hitting 6. He doesn't want to move from his lane until he is 6 because his damage output just isn't there. He'd be the one that's securing tower earlier. You're going to get it anyway. Secret, they don't have the arena, so they're not going to really be able to defend this, but perhaps they can set up for the deny. But yep, there's Rezo. He's hit 6. He's ready to get first.
Yeah, that's good enough. All right, well, it took a lot of heroes, 4 heroes mid, but they do manage to get that early mid tower. That's an advantage for them being able to invade into these jungles. I'm not sure if they'll be able to stop that Medusa from farming up the triangle with the Ancients, but they're going to have to figure out eventually. 10-minute mark approaches, outposts, and bounties. You can see Zions right now is trying to sneak in an outpost here in the top lane. He's going to be backed up by no one who's going to join him. Puppey goes to intercept and may be able to stop the outpost from being taken, but it's going to be a team fight. But Tough Man pushes forward with his quills going out, but now he's going to be slowed and broken by no one as well. Try to finish him off. The arena comes out with his spear onto no one, but Tough Man's still going to die, and no one should be fine. The shield wall will not finish him off. That's going to be a 1-for-2 exchange. With the outpost not being taken.
It is near impossible to play Bristle against this Viper. You can see him just get ulted inside the Nether Toxin. That's removing his ability to engage with his ultimate. Plus, the reason Rezo survives there is because at least 2 procs of those back spines did not come out because you remove that with the break mechanic. So you can be a lot more aggressive against this Bristle early game, even though he's the top net worth on Secret. Really nice maneuver there from VP. Kuman still just farming it up, already 1,300 ahead of any enemy on Secret. You got to feel happy for now, but this is a really cool game to watch because the story is going to be VP trying to get aggressive with this Manta defusal timing, maybe that next item on Naga when they really try to push their edge. And Secret just saying, hey, we'll take our time. We don't need catch necessarily. You're going to come to us and we know it.
Yeah. In Virtus.Pro, they're going to get aggressive, presumably with the net worth advantage too, since they do have the Treant Protector protecting these towers like he's doing so. So with a tower advantage should lead into a net worth advantage, as you could see VP going up to this top lane. I want to point out another cool thing. Viper with that maxed out Q build, they have a good amount of magic damage on their lineup, right? This actually enables the Leshrac to do a lot more damage in team fights
you can even understand better why Matu just melted up top, right? With no bristle back and just, a Leshrac on top of him. He's taking more than effectively pure damage from all of these spells, and that's definitely not
well, that's one way to kill all the trees. Zai just drops the arena and will be able to find Solo, who's been a pesky nuisance, but they know they have to kill that tree to actually take this safe lane tower because Secret knows what an imperative it is not to be too far behind in tower trade-off game.
So far, so good, though, for VP. Look at the way they're playing this. Just split up around the map, taking control, and I especially like no one here going for that farming item first. I've seen a lot of times Vipers go for the utility of, say, a Force Staff or a Hood, but then you see this net worth position. You want to take this edge, get something that allows you to keep it, and then you can start going for utility and survivability. Otherwise, you're effectively all in on this idea. You're going to consistently win engagements and take fights. And if the game slows down like a Naga versus Dusa can, you just end up falling off the face of the earth, and you can't afford to do that as this primary damage dealer for your team.
He is very dead. He is definitely going to be pulled back into no one. Zion's going to try and hit him with the spear and TP out. That's a cool play because there's no stun left. That was very nicely done by him.
I like that he thought about spearing first, then realized his only hope was to spear post-glimpse. Immediately, he does just that, TP's out. Perfect play from Zai. Excellent way to keep his composure.
And a misplay from Zayats, right? Like, he had total vision, he planned that out. Like, you should have been able to have the wherewithal to read, okay, as long as I land the kinetic field, I just slow him down.
And I think he also has to probably drop ulti there, even without kinetic, just because, like, it's one of those things. It's a good play from Zai, but Zai did have the answer.
A fucking Mars lands on top of Resolution, may have missed the God's Rebuke, but will not miss the Spear. They're going to chain stun him pretty easily here.
There's just too many stuns, right? We saw this in that last game from Nigma when they had the Shaker, Lesh, and Mars trialing. You know, if you could just get caught.
Three-man smoke up, but there was Nisha sitting on the high ground, immediately popped the Stone Gaze. No one wants to fight this still, and he's going to sit on the high ground, but now Sapphire, ultimate raining down in, but it looks like the Medusa's still going to die here, sits inside the Nether Toxin, traded out with the Viper, but the supports got gone on by both Matumba Man and Yapzor on the back line, so it ends up being a 1-for-3.
Wow. I felt a lot better for VP at the onset, but it looked like just the positioning was not there. They got cut off, and that's the power of the Dusa team fight, right? You don't necessarily need the Mars ultimate. And yeah, sure, Secret, they're not really the ones making plays, but it's VP that are continuing to try and play aggressive, and expect it just because of the way their draft comes together. You really want Rezo to be involved in these fights, but he's just trying to get his own game going, and no.
His game's going to be stalled up if he dies here again. Doesn't hit the stun onto Matumba Man. Matumba Man's going to go for the dive here, but the living armor is going to protect him. Solo threatening the ultimate is going to pop it now. They have the TP coming in from Science to make sure they can keep these heroes in place. The Glimpse is ready to go. Matumba Man and Yapzor are trying to stick together here. Now the Glimpse pulled back into the kinetic field, and no one's showing up. So finally they do have the damage to bring down that Bristleback, and may have caught Yapzor as well. This is a really big kill because he was actually getting close to his Blink deck.
Yeah, and this new tree armor is so good against the Bristle. All of his damage, including the spines, is physical, and you just have +10 armor and a bunch of regen. It's the only reason Resolution's alive there, and it's more evident just this VP lineup has such great synergy together. The Disruptor with the Viper, Kinetic, Nether Toxin, that's just busted. Now you have a tree as well to protect your Leshrac, plus tons of lockdown for all this AoE magic come through. Naga to secure your late game. 2K ahead of Nisha, however, not out of this yet. In the mid to late game portion, from about now to 30 minutes, I think I'd heavily favor VP. But once Nisha gets rolling, you can see him with that Manta first. You don't traditionally see it that often, but against a tree, you kind of need to pick it up. And at a point, he'll have, I'm telling you, Aghanims. You just kill the illusions. They all die. Doesn't matter if you have Heart, Scotty, and a butterfly. The illusions instantly die.
At what point do you think he's going to get that item? Because it is really value for this game. Do you pick it up like third?
I think you could pray for a Roche, really. But at the same time, it's one of those relationships that I feel like you gotta like just see what the players feel, simply because you know, the problem is if you go for something too early of an exit, it's then all of a sudden not the Naga you're worried about, but perhaps this Viper, who's also keeping pace with you in the net worth. Plus, all this magic damage, the lack of BKB could be punished severely. Yeah, an Aghanim Scepter would also lead you to a very low damage build for the Medusa. That is obviously going to be a problem. You need some damage to threaten these heroes that are pushing against you, like Viper. It's 7-9 right now, 16.5 minutes in. Virtus.Pro do have a slight net worth lead, but it feels like they have more control of this game. As you can see, no one is running into this Bristleback here, committing for the kill, should be able to get it, but he's taking a lot of damage in return, especially from that Snapfire ultimate, now tossed up into a Stone Gaze as well. Resolution trapped out by the arena. That's 3 dead on the side of Virtus.Pro. Once again, they had a larger net worth lead, but they keep on taking these very offensive fights against Secret. And Secret, in their defensive positions, are managing to trade out 1 for 3, time after time. And from a spot where you'd expect them to be way more on the back foot, too, right? Yeah. Talking about how VP's playing this great game, they're the ones with the towers, they're the ones with the map control. And not just that, but Secret are also taking fights outside of their own jungle, which is very important. They're ensuring that waves stay on the enemy side of the map. You don't want to find yourself choked into your own side, as they look to be right now a bit. P, no Disruptor ult, probably not going to make too soon. I like the rush of the Spirit Vessel on Zayak playing against a Bristleback. It's just looks like second item BKB on Viper and Medusa rushing the Butterfly. It's nice, but at the same time, I do really want to see an Aghanim Scepter, right, as well, because you've got a classic Naga Siren Disruptor combination. I'm just really worried. I'm completely wrong about this, and the Stone Gaze no longer kills illusions, even though it's not in the patch notes or on the Dotapedia. But
I mean, I think it's very likely that Nisha may not even go for it. So
yeah, but
we
the
can
butterfly,
just say you're right, and that Nisha should have gone it, but
butterfly makes a lot of sense in this spot though, because it's one of those items that drastically increases your pace, your farming speed will increase, but your survivability also matches. You're against a Viper and a Naga. That miss chance is so huge. Neither one of these heroes will be able to buy an MKB for quite some time.
Yeah. Solo rolling around. We're talking about like being able to make sure your lanes aren't always pushed in by the Naga Siren. Mars, one of the best heroes to do something like that, right? He just has a combination that instantly kills a creep wave.
And this is a good time to go. You got level 2 Song, active Manta Diffusal on the Naga. Here we go.
Be able to get off the Static Storm onto Mars. Do you think he can finish him off? But YapzOr looks to be able to intercept the combination. They also have the Snapfire ultimate raining in. Kuman pops his ultimate, slowing down these heroes and hoping that the rest of his team gets out. He does that pretty nicely, stays on the high ground. Now they have to make sure they still don't get caught by the Blink Dagger from YapzOr. He was looking for it, but the high ground, it's dangerous to go up there with no vision. Kyle, as you always seem to say, nice blink away from YapzOr before the damage land.
And bad news for me, Cap, it does appear illusions now just get affected by the Stone Gaze and turn to stone without immediately dying. Thus,
oh, nice cookie. That is troublesome for no one. He's going to be saved by the overgrowth, but a toss forward up at top of man. The respect is right there in the front lines on top of everybody getting off these quills, but it looks like the Medusa ends up dying to the damage coming out from Resolution. It was too much for him to handle with the Spirit Vessel actually up. Matama Man has to tread very carefully here. Kinetic Field blocking in Puppey. He goes the other direction, dodging the stun from Resolution, but he can't dodge the AoE damage from all of that magic. Now the Mars Arena going out. Managed to actually catch Rezo and Science perfectly. Should be able to chain them just enough. Fuel Scepter going off once again. Resolution was spared last time around. He got a Fuel Scepter. Can he do it again? It looks like he might be okay. Spear up, 1 second's time. God's Rebuke, if he's close enough, lands that. Now the Spear to finish him off. He dodges it. Rezo sidesteps it. Look out though. A toss from YapzOr is going to be able to claim his life, but now YapzOr is committed so heavily here. Solo is looking to catch him. Never mind. Matama Man looking to bail out YapzOr. Matamba, it's supposed to be the other way around, my friend. Don't endanger yourself for a support.
This is one of those games where you hope Secret remember their WoW experience, because the whole game for now is just going to be don't stand in the green fire, both Dusa and Bristle. You saw once Nisha standing in it, he's attacking, but the split shot disappeared. Bristleback, the Matama Man's survivability is not there inside of it, and he just starts getting beaten down. It's very difficult to team fight on VP's terms, especially if you're clumped up as much as Secret was in that engagement. Still salvage, 15-12, just slightly over 1,000 gold lead for Secret. Anybody's game. Really nice juke there from Rezo. That would have been a nice kill for Zai. Also helped them pick up Matu on the other end, stacking from Puppey on the Ancients to be expected with the Dusa, and there's the Meteor Hammer on Solo. Huge for the support tree. He's level 13 on Solo.
He's a big boy, but that's what a lot of Train Protectors are able to do, right? Because they play on the side lane by themselves constantly. Their job is basically just constantly keep one lane pushed in and sometimes show up for an overgrowth.
Yeah, it's curious too. There was Greaves builds coming up for Rezo. I like this a lot, and you look at, I mean, Essence Ring. This is what it's all about. You look at his team. You really can't think about reliably killing this Naga Siren. You're gonna have a BKB on the Viper. They're gonna all in for this Lash. He's gonna Essence. He's gonna get armored from the tree. This is a very tough hero to take down, and Secret really don't have any better options unless they're able to find these supports.
Yeah, there are certain heroes where, like, I like to call it the HP to damage ratio.
Yeah.
It's just too juicy. You want to go for that hero every single time. And Leshrac, his HP is not great, and his damage output is immense. So that's why Rezo is trying to shore up that weakness, right?
And it's all from his spells, right? As long as he has mana to continue up utilizing his arsenal, it's just stay alive and stay in the fight. Here comes the Roche Pit.
Trying to sneak in a Roshan, but Secret is going to be able to catch him. They do manage to get a Mars Arena on top of the sleep, though. The Snapfire ultimate still raining in. Kuman is able to get out, though. Now they've got a perfect Static Storm on top of 3 different heroes, but they're just turning and fighting. The Stone Gaze managed to go off. The Resolution got stoned up by Nisha. Now inside the pit, they've already finished off the 3. They're going to go and catch Science as well. YapzOr hot on his tail, ready to go with the Blink Dagger right now. And that is going to be a 4th hero down and probably a Roshan on for Secret. Virtus.Pro, this was a very even game, and they just threw it all out.
Well, you've got a Naga, right? Where's the illusion on the side of the pit? Did Zai just walked up and arena'd you?
Yep.
Like, that cannot happen. Oh, very, very unfortunate there. VP, you're in such a great spot, and then the song, as you said, canceled out by the arena. Snapfire taking everyone down to half HP. You can't even attack the enemies yet because they're still snoozing. Very, very unfortunate. VP all of a sudden go from in total control of the game to suddenly up against the ropes. BKB Bristle, no more Nether Toxin worries. And Nisha with an Aegis now can start to march down your lanes.
Is this the point, Kyle, where you, looking at the item progression, you think this game is now turned into Secret's favor and they're the ones who hold the control?
I would have to say so. You don't really have a method of really addressing Nisha at the moment. And by the time this Aegis fades, he'll have that Scotty complete. He'll be well on his way to a Butterfly. Just to swap it up. I imagine just because of what we were talking about, where, yeah, it's very nice against the two cores of VP, but what was really killing Nisha seemed to be the magical damage plus standing in a Nether Toxin. And this way, he'll just increase that survivability.
Yeah, just statting up some more.
And slides like that on Zai.
Particularly bad.
Spread damage carry plus increased damage equals good math.
So what's the next step for Virtus.Pro? They just have to wait out the Aegis? I mean, can you even wait out that much time, give up that much ground to a Medusa lineup?
I don't know if you can, Cap. It's going to be a tough road ahead, that is for sure. I like this idea in that they're going to try and play top and just split the map for now. You got to be cautious. No one, you can see such a slow hero, this Viper, 328 MS. It's very easy to get caught out of position if you lag just behind.
So you got Solo hitting the bottom lane, pushing that in, well, as much as he can with a Bristleback camped out there. They're pushing out top lane as well. They're just looking for anything to split Secret up, right? Because they can't just play totally passive.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just saw Vampire Fangs on the Bristleback. That's sort of a bit of a, I don't know, a medium level 25 talent for the hero. And the spell life steal is so effective with those spines.
Well, Zai, he separates from the rest of the crew a little bit, but he does manage to get off the arena and spears in the last rack. He's still going to die, though, to Resolution, but the arena holds in that last rack long enough that they're going to have to use the song to bail Rezo out. Now he's going to go for the TP.
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
You don't want to get stoned in the middle of a match, Rezo.
Yeah. That was not the right time to be dreaming out there.
I mean, I could totally understand why Kumin also was, like, kind of walking away. Because he's like, I can't stick around forever. Like, they have a fair amount of catch. Still, though, they traded 3 for 3, so not that big of a deal one way or the other. They now have the heart up for the Naga Sirens, so tankier illusions.
The issue is just going to be, does a Naga really solo carry this game? When you look at where his other 2 cores are in position on the net worth, bear in mind, Secret's 3 cores, they're all so durable. They're just tanky AF, and don't know where the damage is going to come from. Zai TP's bot, he'll clear that wave, get a tower deny as they also clear out the tier 2 mid. Now VP can shove top into the base, but not confident going tier 3 if Yapzor is off the map.
I would love to see somebody chipping away at that top tower. Just anybody kind of showing, because Secret are just ignoring it right now, continuing to hit mid.
Yeah, but again, they have no vision, right? If Yapzor is not showing, for all they know, he's just standing on the tower. Like someone comes up, shows up, toss, stun back, TP in, that's a kill. Glimmer and Philosopher's Stone on Puppy, Craggy.
You know, it's funny you talked about the Viper being, well, it's just pretty much a Naga Siren trying to carry this game. You said no one was going for a farming build. And, you know, they did get that damage build out for him where he was going to be able to accelerate, but then they just took too many bad fights in a row. That
It just comes down to the Roche, really. It's all the Roche fight here, and part of that could be, you know, when that occurred, no one had a Dragon Lance after the Maelstrom and about 2,000 gold. If that's a BKB, perhaps things change, who knows, but at the end of the day, you got walked at and initiated on while inside the Roche pit with an illusion core and heroes that should be providing vision. Happens. C'est la vie. Zayak, you know, we've seen this a lot. You got a disruptor on your team. The Ags is queued up. Combo is incredibly devastating, and it's still certainly a win condition for V. Never count out a team with this.
Oh, it's interesting. They got Spider Legs on the side of VP against the Mars. can't walk out of the arena inside of it, but you can't walk into it from the other side. You'll get bumped in by the pushback, but small little interesting. Aghanim Scepter is the build-up for Zayats. I feel like they have to focus on his farm from here on out, because that is the next big power spike.
Yeah, I want to see him get the Philosopher's Stone. I think
yeah,
still being held by Solo, but he's got a Meteor Hammer, and when you look at the net worth, I don't want to see my tree ahead of my Disruptor in this kind of game.
No, he's got the Arcane Ring up. Zayats, maybe they just don't have a Philosopher's Stone on the side of VP. Is that possible? No, it's there. Guys, like, Zayats' farm is so important. Well, Spider Legs got him alive, so.
I would agree. I like the utility of the Spider Legs, but I just think Ag's first priority by a large margin. And there's a pipe picked up by Puppey after that Glimmer. KP is a very farm 5 position. And we're just going to keep marching down.
Puppey was taking your advice, which is he was holding on to the Philosopher's Stone for quite some time. And as a result, it's got a healthy amount of utility items to help with this push. And eventually we're going to get to a point where Secret are going to call VP on their bluff. They're going to go into the high ground and say, you can try and keep split pushing if you want, but Nagasiren, she pushes in the lanes very quickly, but she's not going to hit the tower faster than this.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Rough. You can see the 3 cores. Look how confident they are. What do you do here? You can poke us. Look at Zai, just activated Bulwark. Force the whole enemy team back. Oh, 5 heroes of VP base. All right, guys, let's go clear their woods. They've got vision on the bottom half. I wouldn't be surprised to see Secret stick around here and look to perhaps get aggressive. Oh, wait, that's a real one.
He actually baited out. They thought it was just illusions. He's trying to get a good sleep setup here for any kind of static storm, but instead it's just going to be the Medusa. Looks like in the backline side, walking in with this BKB arena. They're going to be able to get the Meteor Hammer onto the Medusa. Low on mana, actually out of mana now. Maybe they can focus him down the arena. Saves so much damage, though, from that Viper. Nisha getting lower and lower, but so is Kuman. He's committed for the kill, and it looks like they will manage to get it with the Viper. Kuman, as well as Resolution, though, have overextended themselves in trying to finish off that Medusa, and will both trade away their lives.
You can see the great initiation from VP, right? They catch him off guard, they make a play, but you all in for this Dusa, who just is standing still attacking you, trusting that his team will clean you up if you're inevitably able to finish him off, and that's exactly what occurs. Now with both cores dead, the rest of Secret could potentially look to continue pushing top. They almost have a Radiance up on their bristle.
Yeah.
Further demoralizing, or rather, deteriorating the damage that Naga's going to be able to output with the illusions.
So another cool couple of mechanical things here. The Mars, really good against any sort of range carries, right? Because he's got both his Bulwark to be able to soak up projectiles, right, with that 70%. But then he's also got the Arena, and that is a large part of the reason why the Medusa lives so long. He pops the BKB, runs into the Song, and activates the Arena, keeping the Viper out of the Arena, so his shots going in are all blocked.
Yeah, so very good point, Cap. And I think that's just another reason we've seen how many times Zai just making the right decision in the clutch, right? If he just... 99 Dota players out of 100 are like, oh, I didn't get songed. Let me wait outside, and I'll go counter-initiate. Zai recognizes, look, I need to get this arena down. My Dusa is going to die. I need to just go in, because they're not going to target me. I don't care if I waste my BKB just to cover distance, because I'm not the target.
Yeah.
You've got to kill my Dusa, or you're not going to win this fight.
I mean, the Medusa lost like so much of his mana so quickly, but he survived just that extra 5 seconds, I think in large part just because, you know, there was that last bit of damage they needed. It was all from that Viper.
Yeah, it's a good point, because you'd think he's just going to melt. He's standing in the break, just getting railed on by a whole bunch of illusions, but to your point, he's got the wherewithal to just stand still, keep auto-attacking.
All right, well,
stays alive.
That Aghanim Scepter is coming in for Zayats bit by bit. Just needs another 1,600 gold. And we're in business.
I think they killed Rezo like that. He was 33 armor before trees. Now we've got a root blink possible on your Treant. It's going to be interesting. You got to watch the BKB timings from Secret and the Manta. If Solo's on his game, he'll be able to get 2 or 3 of these cores post their item usage. If he doesn't, you're going to have issues, and his impact in the team fight is effectively completely null.
So I want to ask you, like we were talking about the Aghanims on Bristleback. Like I thought it would be really cool with the Medusa. Why do you think he goes for the Radiant instead?
Oh no, on Bristle?
Yeah, for like the AoE viscous nasal goo.
I mean, I think you just probably prefer the AoE magic to the AoE 0 damage goo. It's just safer, right? Oh, that was close.
That was a little close, but they both managed to get out.
Also, you don't really have any effect from minus armor against these VP heroes at the moment. 2 agility cores and a Lesh with 33. It just seems rough.
It seems like Matamba Man also kind of wants to be a damage healer in himself. Yeah. Not just like, they're not going to be entirely reliant on the Medusa, who, you know, with a Naga Siren lineup, right? Like single core lineups do suffer against that because you just get a combination that completely locks you out of your items. And you just get focused down.
Next Roche spawn, that's going to be our expected team fight location, and this is the
Bop
fear.
and blink.
Solo.
Bop and blink. Bop and blink. That's all Solo's got to do. Just annoy him. The couriers are going to fly out trying to get vision of Solo here, but they would have to drop too many sentries. They had the right idea, but they're too late to execute.
Try those secrets stand on their toes, and the thing about it is the supports have the luxury to make that kind of play. Sure, you don't get the kill, but if you check out the rest of the map, it's not as if their lanes are suffering. Bottom's up at the tier 2. Matamba Man not even forced to back because he still has BKB teleport available. You know Solo was just top, so there's no other manner of canceling that BKB TP. Invis rune bottled as well. Looks like AC would be his option. Secret, as always, going for these plus damage items. And check out the vision, as we can see on the right side of our screen. Radiant, absolutely 0 wards and no real manner of pushing out onto the map unless they try and smoke out or hold hands, which is going to be their decision as they smoke.
4-man smoke. Solo hits that bottom lane. Do they have a gem on Secret? We'll have to wait to see because Matamba Man does manage to break that smoke. They've caught Zion. It's perfect for YapzOr. He tosses him back into the rest of the team. Does manage to get off that Static Storm, but easily canceled by the BKB and Matamba Man. And, okay, TP away from no one is successful. The rest of Virtus.Pro get back. Okay, not that big of a deal. You wanted that smoke to go successfully, but they only lost their 4.
Yep, and the thing is, you can pull up the items real quick before Secret go to Siege. Check it in terms of these support items, right? You have a Vlad's, you'll soon have an AC on this Dire side to go along with the pipe, a Force, a Glimmer, etc. On the Radiant team, everyone's got to itemize for themselves. Sure, you've got a Greaves, but there's no Vlad's. Those plus damage items aren't out yet. They have no utility, no Force, no Glimmer, no nothing. So you don't have as many options in terms of committing, because if you overcommit just a hair, you're dead, and there's nothing a support can do to save you unless they've got ultimates available.
Another initiation on Resolution. He self-fuels himself, try and buy a little bit of time, but when he comes back down to Earth, he's dead. But look at all that damage Nisha's taken, and Resolution's still not dead. They had to commit a little bit more, but Nisha almost getting gone on and finished off here, but now it's going to be Matamba Man who's in trouble. He committed his BKB earlier. Zion's going to try and come in and save him with the arena. Not good enough, but does manage to get the spear onto the real Naga Siren. Focus down on Nisha. That's going to be a good trade-off for them. Now they toss back from Zayas as well. Once again, YapzOr finding initiation after initiation. Zayas low. Avalanche going to be able to catch him and Solo. Now diving into the tier 3s, we're going to have our first buyback. It's out from Resolution. A broken Mars having some troubles with no one. No one committing his BKB, but now slowed down by the Scotty of Nisha. Poking and prodding at him, pursuing him into the high ground, but they don't want to overcommit. Secret know that they've just won a really good team fight. They don't have to break Virtus.Pro right now. They've already hurt their economy significantly.
I really just love watching these guys play, man. YapzOr abusing that toss requires no target, level 20 talent, and just putting people out, taking his Medusa. It's just so easy for him to play around. And you can even see there, right? Rezo gets tossed in, and that lack of utility. He's facing his base, but there's no Force staff, and he's just dead in the water. And man, it's just a tough game.
What is the workaround here for VP? Because I kind of understand why they don't have that stuff, because who builds it? What would be your suggestion?
That's the problem, right? There isn't really someone that can. You need the Ags Rush on Disruptor. You need the Vestal first, too. Naga's got to mind his own game. Maybe the Leshrac can, but Rezo was behind. He can't afford to go back for the, he doesn't want to turn himself into a support. And the Greaves is all they've got.
Yeah, he has to have Yules, and then Greaves, I mean, that is a utility item, so.
It's helpful here. And I just love Nisha, man, because, we explained why he had Butterfly queued up at first, right? Explaining like why that's good. The reasons still stand, but I think his decision to go for the Scotty and now the Mjolnir afterwards, pop that on yourself, just right-click, the illusions are going to melt. And look at all the damage VP can't turn off. The Disruptor ultimate, the Leshrac spells, you're going to be proccing Mjolnir every reset, and then you go for the Satanic Butterfly, and that's when you go win the game. So it's just a matter. He knows what items are good, but it's the order that I think he's very optimal on. And again, no one BKB teleporting.
At least he doesn't get caught. They do have the Aghanim Scepter of the Disruptor, but it's do or die time for Virtus.Pro. They're down 17,000 net worth against a Medusa lineup. Very few lineups are able to contest a Medusa that's this long.
I just always feel like when Secret look to actually end a game, they've got just everything they need. Even the Orb of Destruction, She's Eye. The whole team, when you have these tanky cores and the luxury of buying all these items that further increase everyone's survivability, it's just such a rough game for VP because you're gonna have to initiate, you're gonna have to stop them from hitting base. But how do you actually deal damage and finish kills? That's the concern.
Yeah, especially against all these auras. I like that you talked about that because I feel like it's one of those things that's Secret, OG, like basically the top 3 teams of the world at any given time. They always have a bunch of utility items and a bunch of aura items to go finish the game.
Yeah, it's something I love about watching Puppey play. It's effectively just Force, Glimmer, or Medallion every single game.
Yeah.
And then I remember a couple patches previous, there was, before Halberd got nerfed a bit, where he would pick that up routinely on his 5 positions, even when they were ranged heroes, and they'd abuse it. There were games they'd have 3, and they're playing against the Medusa, who didn't buy a BKB, and they just win that one fight because he's standing still doing nothing for the entire engagement.
I got another example for you. What about the old value buckler that Puppey used to go?
Yeah.
I mean, that was him who innovated that kind of build, right? So
it's all about the math, right? I missing the Haas. We need him to do our math. I've had to copy homework from Cost, and it's really, I'm failing the class miserably
it's
now.
a mess over there. I've just seen his handwriting. He does have a very cool notebook, though. I will give him that. Big fan of Marvel comics. He is.
Bro, I thought he was, it's funny, I thought he was taking notes in Croatian.
Yeah.
But it was actually just terribly written English, which I can't blame him for because my handwriting's even worse, but still.
Okay, they have to throw out the Static Storm to prevent him from getting off the BKB and the cheese here. If they can commit, finish him off just in time before the Static Storm fades, but no, he gets on the BKB as well as the cheese, and now for the turnaround, Virtus.Pro, but Tumbleman's still low, but he's able to walk this off, and now Zai's here to be able to lock them all down, sparing resolution in the arena out. No one tries to get out of the arena, but he can't quite make it because the Stone Gaze slowed him down. Stoned up now, the song will eventually fade as Naga Siren TP's home. 3 dead with no buyback.
Remember we were talking about trying to kill one of the secret heroes?
Yeah.
And if you don't, bad stuff was going to go down. They blew absolutely everything. But Tumpaman is going to be full HP. Like, this is not
I don't even think they messed up the combination, right? I think they used all the abilities they were supposed to. They just ran out of steam. And now they're going to run out of Naga Sirens. This Kuman's been tossed in, speared up to the tier 3. No Manta, no illusions, no hope, it seems, for Virtus.Pro with Secret. Go marching straight for the tier 4s, ignoring Rax's at this point. They know they can just end it, and no one, he knows that too. He's going to call GG here for the game 1.
And this is just why, traditionally, it's so tough to take this team down. You know, you look at, throughout history, the OGs, the Enigmas, the Secrets. The problem you run into is that you can't afford to make the critical errors. You have this game a chance, good chance. You're at least 50-50 in it as VP. You want to get this Roche. You want to look to continue